Hey fellas, it's another video in my series on heroic qualities and manliness. I've been looking at a few heroic figures from the past and kind of exploring what it is about them that makes them heroes to us. Here I have a quote that I want to talk about a little bit. It's a quote that I got from a great website, theartofmanliness.com. I'm not affiliated in any way. I visited that website a number of times over the years for all manner of different things, from practical skills to interesting ideas on masculinity. So check it out. Like I said, I'm not affiliated in any way other than I like the website, and it's a good plug for a place where if you're a little lost, maybe just go dig around and see what you see. Alright, this quote from Theodore Roosevelt, pretty well known to be an adventurer. He was a warrior and a hunter, and well known to be kind of a wild spirit, maybe the last of the real true men to be in charge of this country. And this quote is in regards to what we find admirable in men. So here we go. We do not admire let me start again. We do not admire the men of timid peace. We admire the man who embodies victorious effort, the man who never wrongs his neighbor, who is prompt to help a friend, but who has those virile qualities necessary to win in the stern strife of actual life. I love this quote because it doesn't talk anything about heroicism by itself. It doesn't talk anything about bravery. It doesn't talk anything about strength. It doesn't even mention the qualities of that typically are associated with the men that we look up to, as far as the demeanor and the attitude. But what it does talk about is the whole person. And when you think of a good man as a whole person, there are some qualities that must be there. And I'm gonna go backwards through the list of things in this quote. He says, we want someone who has the virile qualities necessary to win in the stern strife of actual life. And being a middle-aged man myself, I've seen enough life, I've been through enough struggles that I can say those qualities are much more internal than they are external. Those qualities are perseverance and tenacity, confidence, self-reliance, a sense of duty, a recognition that when you're in a situation where something needs to happen, you're there for a reason, so it must be up to you to make that thing happen. Those are the heroic qualities that allow a man to deal with the stern strife of actual life. Going backwards still through this list, a man who is prompt to help a friend. I don't think a whole lot needs to be said about that, but what I do want to say is I've seen a lot of people in the manosphere and the red pill type environments in men's spaces that really like to crap on each other when they don't live up to some ideal. And I'd like to say I don't get along with that idea. I fall prey to it. I tend to jump on people occasionally too, and it comes from a place of love. I want to offer some correction and some advice to these people. But what's really at the heart of that is I want to treat everyone like a friend. Not that I'm gonna offer up everybody the same type of help and availability, but I want to be quick to help. I want to be prepared at all times to lend a hand. I want to treat strangers as if they're friends until they deserve otherwise. And I think that's an important quality if you want to be heroic, if you want to be considered a masculine, dependable man. There's an underlying theme of willingness to help that must be there. The next on this list, It's a man who never wrongs his neighbor. Again, not a whole lot to say about this other than it's an indication that this person has unshakable moral foundation. This person, who we would consider manly and heroic, knows right from wrong and is not unconvinced in a situation about which is which. To be a hero, to be a real man, you might be wrong, but you need to think that you're doing the right thing. You need to have your convictions and stand by them, and you need to constantly reevaluate and make sure that you're not ignoring things around you that might lead you to misinterpret what right and wrong would be. But the fact is, it's a willingness and a desire to do what is right. It has to be there. The last part of this, we do not admire the man of timid peace. We admire the man who embodies victorious effort. There's a lot to this one. Peace is a wonderful thing. Peace is something we should all strive for. Peace is the goal, and it is the proof of a life well lived. When you do the right thing, and when you live in a manner that people around you understand that you will do the right thing, there's a lot of peace that comes from that. And that peace is the proof that your moral foundation is correct. That not only do you know right from wrong, but that your actions, by and large, follow that right path. If you find that you don't have peace, you're probably missing the necessary elements to face these problems. You might have misinterpreted the situation. You might have done a wrong thing, and there's something in your subconscious that's just not letting it sit well with you. So, like I say, a peace is something that's earned through action. And in this quote, when he says, we don't admire a man of timid peace, what they mean is, we don't want someone to just back off and go along to get along. You want peace from acting and doing something right. You want a victorious effort. That means you're willing to do the work to come out on top, and we can admire that. Related to this, there's a quote in the Bible about, in the Beatitudes, it says, the meek shall inherit the earth. And I think this is really misinterpreted quite a bit. But the word for meek in that quote, I believe it's from the Greek, but the meaning of that word for meek is best interpreted as a sheathed sword. And what I take that to mean is be capable of danger, be capable of being violent, have the ability and the willingness to correct a wrong in any way, up to and including deadly violence, and choose not to. Choose to seek peace. That's how you inherit the earth. That's how the people around you look at you and say, that's someone I want as a friend. That's how your sons and daughters will look up to you and say, you're my hero. And that's how the people in society around can say, now there's a real man. There's a dependable, salt of the earth kind of person that we want to build our community around. That's the kind of man you ought to want to be. That's the kind of man I want to be. And I keep trying every day to be it. Anyway, guys, I love you. I'll see you next time.